Some of you remember back when my most favorite troll. I like to have this truck. I don't know if it's a 5.4 truck. Or, yeah, it's a 5.4 Triton truck. I don't know about the gas powered thing though. If I'm going to go with the F-250 or 350, I think I just want a diesel. Anyway, but you remember back when my favoriteest troll made the video about me, you know, telling the world something they didn't already know, that I'm a scary felon. Scary felon. And everybody had to jump in and put their 2 cents in because they ain't man enough to come over and say it to themselves, even though my home address is available to the world. Has been for 3 years now. People got a lot to say, but not a lot of testosterone to back it up, it seems. Problem with the country. And one person in particular said, I knew he was a problem when he came into the community. And my reply to that was, first of all, dude, I'm not in any community that you're in. Just because I might watch a video and leave a comment on it, it doesn't mean I'm in your community. Recently, this person made a video talking about you are the resistance. how you know, certain job postings have to say you had to be vaccinated. You know, Delta or whatever it was, whatever airline it was, said that if you're not jabbed, you got to pay an extra $200 a month for your health insurance. But anyway, people talk about the resistance. You know, what's the resistance? Well, it can be subjective if you want it to be. You know, you can lie to yourself and say, oh, well, it's about jobs, you know. Let's not all get jabbed and just let these businesses shut down. Well, that's not going to happen. There's more people getting the jab than not. More people that don't listen than won't. So I kind of just asked the question. I haven't got an answer back. Probably won't, I'm sure. Who you resisting, bud? In the end, who you really resisting? Well, you can't really, you know, there's no consequences for actions like in the case of these, I'm sorry. My allergies are terrible today. In the cases of these businesses, there's no consequences to these people that are running businesses that only exist like Delta because of the public, because of your money that was stolen, extorted, and then given to these businesses so they can pocket millions of dollars over the next decade to then have their hand out immediately when this scamdemic hit. There's no consequences for those people and their hiring practices. Why? Well, because they're protected. That's why. Because the elites and the millionaires have private security called the police. Now me, I'm just kind of a different person. I got a different soul in me. I live in a different time. Not really, but in my head I do. I live in the time, if you snitch, you get thrown through windows. Shout out Jason Newton. You know, you snitches get stitches, right? I live in a time that, you know, if you do something to me, I don't call the police. I don't get mad. I get a hit. Flatten my tire. Catch your car on fire. And it's not about violence or anything like that. It's about teaching. That's what it's about. You know, your kid sticks his hand in a cookie jar before dinner. What do? You smack the kid's hand. There's no consequences, no physical consequences, when those in power have a national security force that protects them at all costs. So, again, I ask, who or what are you resisting? Because today, they can violate the ADA when they're not only a publicly traded company, but they are a company who has openly and willingly taken billions of dollars, at least in industry, that's taken billions of dollars of extorted public funds I was going to say, I had another thought. My bad. That is enforced, and I know that a lot of people don't see this, but it is enforced by thugs with badges. Why? You know, if somebody steals your money, so if you had $1,000 laying out in front of you and somebody stole that money, everybody, even the thugs with badges, would rightfully say that you have every right to beat the absolute shit out of that person and to take your money back. But the reality, shout out Coda Boy 32, the reality is, if you did that, those badge thugs who would, on a personal level, agree with you, would arrest you. So, what are you resisting? Nothing. That's what. Because these are people that still support the police, the people that still have in their ideal that an oath means something because they've taken oaths and they take their oaths seriously. So seriously, in fact, they can't even recognize when people are violating their oaths. Fuck, they can't even recognize when something is unconstitutional. That's how serious they take their oaths. Yeah, I need to blow my nose. I don't know what's going on today, but man, my head is rigged up. I love this truck. What's this dude just sell it to me? I don't know about the gas thing though. If I want to have a 250 or 350, I think I just want to go ahead and get a diesel. Extra expense in it, but you know, that's what it is. So anyway, I'm looking forward to his answer. I'm sure that it will be interesting, to say the least. But I just don't understand how people cannot see it. How they cannot see what a company discriminating for medical reasons today. I don't understand how they can't see that, where that leads to what's going on in Australia right now. Because that's where it leads. And you can say, oh, freedom, we got all these guns and blah, 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 and I'm a USPSC, or USPSA shooter. PSCA, fucking whatever it is. Okay. That's awesome, you can shoot great. I'm curious to see how you react when, you know, somebody says, come here and you're under arrest. That's what I'm interested in. All that other shit doesn't matter much to me. If you'll obey when you're told to obey. Yeah. Damn, I just got shit running out of my nose. Gross. If you'll obey when you're told to obey, none of that other shit matters. You can be the biggest war dog there is, or you killed 600 goat herders, or whatever it may be. And when you cuff up and they tell you to cuff up, none of that shit matters. And that's where it's leading to. You know, these people, they still don't see what's going on, or who enforces it, for that matter. If you're being stopped by force, and that force keeps you from applying force for what's right, that greater force is the problem. And it's not that they're even greater force. It's that so many people just obey, and then it's the training thing. You know, we've been trained to. Sorry, I don't have I'm redneck. My nose been short, right? You know, we've been trained to. The cops are good. You know, I'll use that example of the shooting people. I'll say it again. If you're driving down the road, there's a gunfight happening. Let's say it was in a school play yard. And you have one bullet, you can stop the fight. Who do you shoot? 2 civilians. You don't have the information to do it, right? So that's what anybody who's halfway smart will say. And I'll exchange one of those civilians with a cop, and most people will say, well, you shoot the civilian, because the cop is not a civilian, right? You shoot the civilian, because the cop is in the right. Because we've seen them do so many things that are right throughout history. There's so many videos out of them out there doing things that are right. We've seen so many of them refuse to execute unconstitutional orders or enforce unconstitutional laws. We've seen 800 of them at the Virginia rally. That was allegedly a success. Yeah, that was a success. Y'all cleaned the streets up in Richmond. Good job. Cashapp hold a rally in Cincinnati. But there was 800 cops there. Not one quit. Not one refused to follow orders. Every one of them did what they were told to do. As these sheeple took off their guns, went into their little cage where they were allowed to protest, where their government said you can protest here. They were permitted by their government that they allegedly control over, because you know all that voting shit matters. They care. It just all blows my mind. Like, people can't grasp onto, you know, if you can grasp onto what freedom is, it's not hard to figure the rest out. Because the men who created the country understood what freedom was, so they created everything around that, including our government. And they never gave our government any authority over the people. Yet these so-called patriots, plastic patriots, as Randall has deemed them, and I think it's funny, and it's actually quite correct. They continue to support these forces. And where's your line? I will tell you where their line is. And this goes back to freedom and understanding what freedom is, and different things that go along with freedom, like individual rights, the rights of the people, collective rights, shit like that. They will quit supporting them when something happens to them by the police that they believe is wrong. That's when. These are people who have done what they're told their whole life. You know, they've been good little sheeple and paid their taxes, got their tags on time, kept up with their insurance, changed their tires on their car before the tread got lower than Lincoln's head on a penny. Obey all speed limits, wear their seatbelts. Everything they're told to do, not because it's what they want to do, but just because what they're told to do. Funny enough, this guy said today that, you know, that freedom is subjective. He didn't say that, but that's what he meant. That people have different ideals of what freedom are. So you can wear a mask but still be free in the mind. And I disagree with that. If I wear a mask because you're telling me to, for whatever reason, whether it's to buy food, go to work, whatever it is, get medical care, I'm not choosing to if I'm told I have to do it, and that's why I do it. Like, I could have chosen to put a mask on and get medical care for my leg. That spider just bit me a few weeks ago. But it wasn't really a choice. If I did it, I would have done it because I was forced to do it. And force doesn't always equate to physical force. So, you know, somebody punched you in the mouth or put a gun to your head. You know, if you want medical care, you must wear this mask. I'm free because I chose not to. Because I said, you know what? The consequence of my possibly losing my leg, which I would have probably had to cut off myself because I'm wearing a damn mask, have it cut off either. The consequence of losing my leg is less important to me than the principle of not doing what you're telling me to now, which is wearing a mask. That's freedom.